I see. So Professor Russell asked you to bring this information. A pitch-black orbment capable of negating all other orbital energies. And you say that the Colonel has acquired it? Dude, I totally forgot about the black orbment until just now. The Professor told us that you might have some idea of what he intends to do with it, Your Majesty. Can you tell us anything? I have but a vague idea, but I did not think that the Colonel even knew of it. Perhaps I am worrying about nothing, but even so. Excuse me, but what is this vague idea you have? I suppose there's no harm in telling you. Roughly 10 years ago, a massive orbital reaction was detected beneath Grand Cell. Professor Russell was the individual who came to investigate. Huh. Did this happen in the vicinity of the sewers? No, far deeper underground than that, in fact. Professor Russell was under the impression that it might be a relic of the ancients that still functioned. Is a friggin' bomb. It's gonna blow up the entire continent. Wow. So it was a bona fide artifact then. Most artifacts I know of have lost their function, like the mechanisms on top of the towers. But every now and again you find one that still functions, like Mayor Dalmore's family heirloom. And something like that is beneath Grand Cell. So what does that tell us about the Gospel? I don't remember what the Gospel is. Gospel is the final boss of Mega Man Battle Network 2. I've forgotten what it is in this game. I'm gonna be honest, I forget a lot about this game because I'm just not that invested or interested in the story. Oh, Gospel is just what they call the Black Orbment. Right. Maybe it could be used to halt the artifact's functions? Could it do that? Yes. However, the precise purpose of the relic below the city has never been made clear. Professor Russell conducted an informal study of it, but it is beyond my imaginings how the Colonel could even know of its existence. I see. In any event, it seems likely that trouble is on the way. Man, I thought things were finally starting to look up, but now I can't see the bright side of anything. I guess that's what we bracers do, though. Everybody experiencing something sucky, just call the bracers, grumble, grumble. But the Colonel has to be stopped, so we'll do the job. Haha, I'd expect no less from Cassius's daughter. Hey, so, like, by the way, that whole abdicating the throne thing was a lie, right? You're acquainted with our father, Your Majesty? The dumbest question in this entire franchise, asked again within, like, 20 minutes. He was a friend of my late son's and a great savior to the nation. You were literally told that he was friends with her son and also was, like, almost given a Medal of Honor. How on earth could she not know Cassius Bright? Of all the people to ask this question, this is perhaps the stupidest. After retiring from the army and becoming a bracer, he has done many favors for me. Really? I didn't know that. I imagine that there are a great many things about him that you do not know, including the precise role he played in the war 10 years ago. I assume you have not been told? Well, nothing super detailed. Perhaps then that is the role that I am meant to play. Estelle and Joshua, will you indulge me by listening to an old story? Oh, yes, absolutely. It is no indulgence, Your Majesty. 10 years ago in the spring, a tragedy occurred in the southern reaches of the Erebonian Empire. Its cause is yet unknown, so that is something I must omit. The Empire used that event as a pretext for their invasion of Liberl. So began the sad times that would become known as the 100 Days War. Just as the Empire made its declaration of war, a massive military force breached the Hawken Gate. In what seemed like scant moments, all of Liberl became occupied territory, save for Grand Cell. It is said that the invasion force was 3 times the size of the entire royal army. The reinforcements from Calvard were too late to stop their advance. It was but a matter of time before Grand Cell 2 would fall. But then Cassius arrived and went Super Saiyan, saving the day. But 2 months after the outbreak of hostilities, the war changed in a way that none could have imagined. Patrol model airships had just been developed and they were used in a sweeping campaign to cut off the Imperial Army's supply lines. Real Day of Black Sun Fire Nation vibes. Then the Royal Army used naval strikes from Leyston Fortress to retake the major targets. Zeiss, Rouen, Bozay, Roland. Once their supply lines were severed, the Erebonian forces were swiftly crushed. And the one behind this plan for a counteroffensive was none other than one Colonel Cassius Bright. It was your father, who still had that stupid mustache even back then. He was the superior officer to General Morgan's right-hand man, Colonel Richard. Afterward, with the intercession of the Septian Church, the war was brought to an end. But it was at this time that Cassius lost what he treasured most in all the world. Lena, your mother, Estelle. Thanks for clarifying that. Estelle might not have known who you meant if you didn't point out it was her mom. That clock tower was destroyed in the Imperial Army's vain attempts to hold back the counteroffensive. The rest, I believe, you know. Cassius was unable to come to terms with the loss of his wife. No, I had no idea. In spite of all his successes in the military, he could not save the woman he loved. Classic. In his grief, he left the military and took up the path of the Bracer. All to stay with the only one he had left, you. He did this so that he himself could protect those he loved. Dad, that idiot. It wasn't his fault that Mom died. How could he even think that? Estelle. Yes, you are correct. Given that all he lost was in service to his country, the responsibility falls upon me. And so I am sorry, Estelle. I failed to protect your mother. I have wished to apologize to you for a long time. But you don't need to apologize. Your Majesty, you helped restore peace to the country. Just like Dad and all those soldiers who fought to protect it. And Mom protected me with her life. That has to be enough. Estelle, you have a kind heart and I am grateful. It gladdens my heart to have finally met you in person. Now more than ever, Your Majesty. However, that is why I do not wish you to put yourself in danger. I would like for you to remove yourself from any dealings with this matter. What? But Julia, Lieutenant Schwartz asked us to help you. I thank you. I am grateful for your willingness to do so. But if some tragedy were to befall you in Cassius's absence, I know of no apology that could ever suffice. I ask only that you go back to your home in Roland and wait for your father to return. Yeah, just go waste your life sitting in your room. That's all I ask. But, if I may, Your Majesty, the peace that Dad restored and that you protect, though it has held firm, now trembles like a leaf in the breeze. I guess we're poets now. Joshua, such flowery language. You are not incorrect in the matter of the gospel, but if the colonel succeeds and the Duke becomes the new king, then what will become of that peace? I ask only that you consider that. Your Majesty, right when we became junior bracers, we inherited a whole lot of work from Dad. After the Sky Bandit incident, we got that letter in the package, and we've been running around all around creation ever since. It feels to us like our dad's been nudging us in the back this whole time. That's why I want to defend peace, so that everyone we've met and everyone we care about can go on living secure and happy lives. Just like you, and just like Mom and Dad, I'm doing this because it's what I believe is right, and I really want to see it through. Estelle. It seems she was right about you. Huh? I too am ready. I would like for the two of you to carry my request to the Bracer Guild. Your Majesty. My liege, we will do whatever you ask. Inform them that I am a prisoner of the Intelligence Division and I need rescue. Also tell them that the same holds true of my granddaughter, Claudia. Aha! So the princess is being held captive somewhere. Yes. This coup d'etat started when I backed her as the successor to the throne. In other words, Duke Dunan was out of the running. Yes, though he is my nephew, he is possessed of a considerable number of character flaws. That's one way to say it. In brief, where he is lacking, my granddaughter shines. For the sake of this nation's future, I would have my granddaughter succeed me. Well, I don't actually know her. Ha! Or do you? But I personally lean towards the idea that your judgment should really be trusted here. Unfortunately, there are those who object strongly to a woman wielding political power. Haven't you been wielding this political power for like 40 years? Not to mention, the memory of the invasion by a larger power is still relatively fresh. Some of them will perceive a succession of 2 consecutive queens to be a sign of weakness. It is hardly surprising that such a notion has taken root in the minds of some. Some, including Colonel Richard, I presume. Quite right. Claudia's pending succession to the throne caught him quite unawares. That, along with his passing of this information to the Duke, is what led to this coup. This was all staged so that Liberl would become a strong military power, with the Colonel ruling from the shadows. I see. That finally lets us see the whole picture. I mean, we kind of already knew that, didn't we? I feel like I already knew that. So if Liberl became a militarized country, what would happen then? A great many things. Taxes would be levied to fill the war chest. Orbital weaponry would be developed with the expressed intent of causing havoc on a massive scale. A wide-ranging policy of conscription would be adopted. And no doubt the contract with the Jaeger Corps would be legitimized when currently it's not recognized. Oh no. Indeed, the Colonel has made very adamant requests that I enact such policies. I thought that such proposals were born out of genuine love for his country. But I never agreed that they were the right course of action to take. The Royal Army is not all that protects this land. We have worked hard to maintain treaties with other countries. Defending a nation goes hand in hand with free cultural exchange and trade with all other nations to the benefit of all. I feel the same way, Your Majesty. Yeah, it makes sense to me. The Colonel, however, finds such notions to be womanly and foolishly idealistic. So all of this really just comes down to the fact that Richard is sexist? That's the crux of this entire plot line, is that Richard is sexist. All right. And so he demands that Claudia abdicate her claim to the throne in exchange for her safe return. Many people have had family members taken to ensure that they would not dare to oppose the Colonel. But I am the Queen, and I will not allow all that I love about my country to be destroyed simply because of blood ties. Still, she is my only granddaughter. I cannot simply allow her to die. Your Majesty, please try to relax. We hear and comply with your request. We will see to it that the princess is rescued from those who have imprisoned her. Thank you, both of you. Armed agrees with me, that's all I need. That's how I know I'm right. This makes me believe that the threat of the Colonel will be brought to an end soon. Have you any other requests, Your Majesty? The gospel still has to be dealt with. And I don't think we should just leave you here. I appreciate your sentiment, Estelle, but the present state of affairs is not contingent upon my freedom or imprisonment. The gospel shall continue to weigh heavily on my mind for a great many reasons. For my part, I will attempt to ascertain the Colonel's true intentions with it. Oh, here we go again. What a totally awesome person. Super nice, but with a seriously strong will. I hope I'm even 1/10 that cool when I get old. Cool. Did you actually just call the Queen that? Still, she definitely has what it takes to govern a whole country. Yeah, I really want to stop this coup thingy and help her. We gotta get my boy Itachi Uchiha up in here. That's definitely outside of Bracer jurisdiction. Well, first things first, we do whatever we can. Right. But you know, I'm still freaking out about what the Queen told us about Dad. I wonder if she's got any more tidbits she'd be willing to share. Estelle and Joshua, have you finished changing? Oh, yeah. Then we should return to the waiting room at once. It's already after 11 o'clock. Actually, it's almost midnight. Whoa, is it really that late? The Queen spoke with us for a long time. If we stay any longer, it's apt to make the guards suspicious. Are you going home for the day, Miss Hilda? Yes, I believe so. Just be sure not to do Her Majesty any further discourtesy. That's not fair. But please relax, we are patriots to the core. That's good to hear. Now I believe that we shall be on our way. Yeah, patriots to the core. That's why you're overthrowing the kingdom. Pardon me. By your leave. By the way, ladies. I don't think we ever got your names. May we ask them? I hate Dorothy. That's a very modern name. Pardon my saying so, but it just doesn't sound right for you. Ain't that the truth? And how about you, miss? You may call me Karen. Oh no, he's a Karen. Karen, you say? That's a very pretty name. Is it? You're too kind, sir. I'm rather fond of it myself. Are you now? All right, we're with the Special Ops. My name is... I think that's just about enough. I sense an ulterior motive at work. No, I mean, at least not from us. Please be safe on your way home. That's also a mistranslation. It should be Karen. That's still Karen. It's just with an I instead of an E. Is it really a mistranslation, or did they just, like, make it more American? A mistranslation means that they did it by mistake, typically. Changing names to be less Japanese is usually an on-purpose thing. I'm lost. How do you get down from here? There's a door somewhere, isn't there? Like, where? There it is. Well, aren't you Mr. Popularity? It was like their eyes all changed when you told them your name. Definitely is a mistranslation because the name has significance. It's a significant name to Joshua. I mean, like, it's possible it's a mistranslation. But also, at the same time, you said that in the second game, they changed Zane's name to be correct, right? They could have just decided to go full-on Japanese instead of mistranslation. When originally they were like, oh, let's change the names. And they were like, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Hey, it was not. I just find it hard to believe that they, like, took the name Zin or whatever and changed it to Zane, and that was an accident that they did, like, 500 times. That'd be really weird It seems like it would have to be some form of a conscious choice. Hey, it was not. I didn't see you shying away from joining in the conversations. Sure, but that doesn't mean I wasn't nervous. I kinda lost all my confidence there. Huh? What's all this noise about? Is it the Duke? Oh my goodness, just kill him. Just kill him right here. Ah, Duke Doonan. Ah, is the lady of the court. Hey, you maids. You don't look familiar. These are two of the new hires whom I'm instructing. This is Dorothy, and that's Karen. They're still quite inexperienced, so I'm giving them some extra training time. Now that you mention it, it probably was the localization team going too far. Yeah, I mean, that's what I would expect, to be honest. If the Karen name is only mentioned like this once, I could see that one being a mistranslation. But definitely like Zin or whatever his name is being called Zane, that seems like it would have to be a conscious choice, or the people who did the translation were full of a lot of idiots. Yo, Philip, don't screw this up. Did he recognize us? Not good. Given how many times we've run into him, it'd be bizarre if he didn't recognize us. Come now, Philip, enough with the staring. Haha, it's quite unusual to see coming from you, stiff upper lip and all. Please pardon my rudeness. You look much like my niece. My eyes were playing tricks on me, it seems. I'm dreadfully sorry for the discourtesy. My man, Philip. Probably like third best character in the game. He doesn't have a lot of competition, but he's up there. Oh, it's no bother. Please don't concern yourself. You know, now that I stop and look, I must say that you both are quite lovely. You with the brown hair, you have a very healthy, clean look to you. Ugh. As for you, I personally think you'd look best with that raven hair of yours even longer. I'm honored. Ah, yes. Dorothy, was it not? You shall attend to me this evening. Your Excellency? Ew, I don't want to serve him tea. I don't think tea is what he once served. Your Excellency, your flirtations, while flattering, are best saved for another time and place. All of the maids in the castle work directly in service to Her Majesty, Queen Alicia. I trust you've not forgotten. I know, some folks cannot simply appreciate a joke. The castle will be mine in a week's time anyway. We can set aside time for some fun then. Your Excellency, please no more of this. I do not mind when you drink to excess, but you know how your libido gets in such instances. I just had to read that word. I say this knowing full well that I may be reprimanded for it. But I said I was just joking. That means it's okay, right guys? I said JK at the end. Enough, I'm going to bed. As you wish, Your Excellency. Your room is right over there. Yo, but like, can we kill the Duke, please? Whoa. All right, Dorothy. You just let me know if you have any problems, anything at all. I'll give you the best advice the future king can give. Thank you so much. Aren't you cute? Yes, good. Jolly good. Pip pip, cheerio, whatnot. Well, that was disgusting. I apologize unreservedly for all the fuss. His Excellency will likely remember nothing of this come the morning. Please set your minds at ease. I should certainly hope so. I am truly sorry. Madam and young misses, I beg your pardon, but I must take my leave. Hey, don't put stuff in chat that could potentially be spoilers, being like, oh, this character will have thing happen to him. Like, we don't need that in chat, come on. Anyone in chat got the no spoilers emote? Drop the no spoilers emote, that's what it's for. I feel so badly for him. Yo, same. He truly seems to bear the weight of the world on his shoulders. Do you know Mr. Philip personally? Yes, ever since we were children, though not nearly as well as we once did, thanks to the one he serves. I see. He sure seems like he's nervous all the time, doesn't he? I'll bet that everything between the Duke and the Colonel has him completely on edge. Probably, yeah. By the way, what was that you were saying earlier about me being the popular one? The Duke certainly seemed awfully fond of you. Ugh, please. I'd like to keep my food in my stomach, thank you. Alright, back to before. I feel like I'm missing something. Why would the Duke want tea so late? Oh, here we go. Well, you see, Estelle, allow me to elucidate the matter of tea and why gentlemen should never request it in polite company. Huh? Come closer. Now do you understand? Yes. Hopeless. Completely hopeless. Thanks for everything, both of you. If not for you, I don't know what we would have done. Please, it was the least we could do in Her Majesty's service. I only ask that you complete the request she made of you. I feel the same way. I beg of you, do everything in your power to save the princess. Yeah, we're just gonna, like, kill everyone in the intelligence division. It's just that simple. Oh, are you one of her royal retainers? Yes, I regret that I rarely get the chance to serve her directly. She's so kind and open, she's always treated me more like a friend than a servant. The thought of her being held captive keeps me up at night. I understand. Well, you can rest easy now that we're on the job. We'll save her. Shall we be going?